What's going on, chat? Still day two of reading and investing 101 to gain financial responsibility, to gain financial freedom, and to create better spending and saving habits to prepare me for the years to come. All right. I ain't been telling y'all what page I'm on. I'm on page 32. I stopped on page 32. All right. 5 characteristics of great companies. Once you've narrowed down, Once you've narrowed your focus to a handful of oh shit, I ain't even set the timer again. All right, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. Let's start. I got another timer because I'm cooking some shit, some flying for y'all niggas to eat tomorrow or shit whenever y'all buy it. Let me stop bullshit. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get my breath. All right, 20 minutes. Once you've narrowed your focus to a handful of companies, you need to fine-tune your research even more. One of the primary reasons to buy a particular stock is because of its future outlook. Okay, future outlook. Primary reasons. Because of its future outlook, it's wise to buy and hold onto a stock for the long term. So quality is an important part of your investment strategy. Among other factors, you want to purchase stock in a company that you believe has the following traits: a sound business model, a sound business model. You want to single out a company that has a solid business plan and a good grasp of where it wants to be in the years ahead and a plan to get there. A company with a clear focus has a better chance of reaching its goals and succeeding than a company that just rolls along without a concrete plan. The second thing is superior management. An experienced, innovative, and progressive management team has the best chance of a leading company into the future. Has the best chance of leading a company into the future. Star managers have had a major impact on their prospective companies, and a company will often witness dramatic changes when a new management team comes on board. When key management leaves an organization, you will often see major changes in the way the company operates. So, third thing is significant market share. When a majority of individuals rely upon the products and or services of a designated company, or the company has good insight into consumer preferences. Industry markets leaders usually have well thought out vision. However, the strongest company performance doesn't always indicate the best stock to buy. Be careful and look more closely at markets with a glut of competitors. A glut. The fuck is a glut, nigga? Well, I don't think I can say that. A glut, an excessively abundant supply of something. Glut. All right. A glut, a glut of competitors. Sometimes the second best company makes the best stock investment. Competitive advantages. A company that is ahead of the pack will often be on top of cutting edge trends and industry changes in areas like marketing and technology. You want to single out those companies and are likely to stay one step ahead of the competition and are likely to stay one step ahead of the competition. New developments. If a company places a high priority on research and development, it is likely to roll out successful introductions. If the product or service takes off, the stock price might very well follow. All right, so 5 things to look for. Sound business model, superior management, significant market share, competitive advantages, and new developments. If the future outlook for a particular company appears promising, that is, as long as the company continues to exhibit these traits and act upon them, owning a portion of that company might make good business sense. Chapter two. Hey, we made it to chapter two. That's good. What are stocks? It's time to learn all about stocks, from what they are to the different types available to what they can mean for your portfolio. Buy and hold investors invest in companies that have stood the test of time. Traders make more active approach into investing, placing more emphasis on stock price movement than on the real value of the company, regardless of which strategy you apply to your holdings. The same underlying rule applies. Know what you're buying or selling before you make any trade. Buying stock in a company, getting a piece of the action. Purchasing shares of a stock is like buying a business. That is the way Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, views it, and his philosophy is certainly worth noting. When you buy a stock, you're actually buying a portion of a corporation. If you wouldn't want to own the entire company, you should think twice before you consider buying even a piece of it. If you think investing in these terms, you'll probably be a lot more cautious when signaling out of a specific company. Singling out, you'll probably be a lot more cautious when singling out a specific company. It is important to become acquainted with all of the details of the company you are considering. What products and services does the company offer? Which part of the business accounts for the greatest revenue? Which part of the business accounts for the least revenue? Is the company too diversified? Who are its competitors? Is there a demand for the company's offerings? Is the company an industry leader, or any mergers and acquisitions in the works? Until you understand exactly what the company does and how well it does, it will be wise to postpone your investment decision. So basically, get to know what the fuck you finna buy, so you don't fuck up. Okay. The Altria Group, formerly known as Philip Morris, is primarily associated with tobacco products. But the company also profits from its particular beer subsidiary. What the heck? Subsidiary. It holds 28.5% of SAB Miller Brewing, the home of Miller beers. In addition, the company holds Philip Morris Capital Corporation, which is involved with the financing and leasing of major assets. Philip Morris, the Altria Group, SAB Miller Brewing, Philip Morris Capital Corporation. Value the company. Let's say you want to buy a convenience store in your hometown. You've reviewed such factors as inventory, the quality of the company's employees, the customer service program, and the customer service programs. In addition to selling staple grocery items, the company also rents videos and operates a gas pump. The grocery side of the business may only account for a small percentage of the overall revenue. It will be in your best interest to value each part of the business separately in order to get a complete and accurate picture of the company's profit potential. Many companies have traditionally been associated with a specific business, yet may have expanded into totally new venues. Disney, for example, has historically been associated with the Disneyland and Disney World theme parks. The reality is that Disney is also involved in a host of other ventures. Among other things, the multi-faced, fa- multi, 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 multifaceted, multifaceted, having many facets. What the fuck is a facet? one side of something, facet, one side of something, one side of something, many sided, especially of an uncut gem. Basically, I think it's like different parts. All right. Where's that? Multifaceted company has interest in television and movie production, including Touchstone Pictures and Miramax Films. Disney's ABC's Incorporated Disney's ABC Incorporated division includes the ABC television network, as well as numerous television stations and shares in various cable channels like ESPN and SOAP SoapNet. It should be increasingly clear that making money through investing requires work. The more research and thought you put into your strategy, the more likely you are to reap rewards. Although there are no guarantees in the world of investing, the odds will be more in your favor if you make educated and well informed investment decisions. When you make an investment, you are putting your money into a public company, which allows you, as a part of the public, to become an owner or have equity in the company. That's why stocks are often referred to as equities. Types of stocks. Common stocks are equity securities that are sold to the public, and each share continues ownership in the corporation. When people talk about trading shares, they're talking about common stocks, preferred stocks, or are they're talking about common stocks. Preferred stocks are somewhat different. While they still denote ownership in the corporation, they also have some characteristics more in common with bonds than common stocks. Corporations come in all sizes. You can invest in a wildly successful mega company or a micro cap company that is just beginning to show signs of growth potential. Some people prefer to buy the common stock of well established companies, while others investors would rather invest in the smaller, growth oriented companies. No matter what type of company fits in with your overall strategy, it is important to research every potential stock you buy. Just because a company has been around for decades doesn't mean it's the best investment vehicle for you. Furthermore, companies are always changing, and it is important to make sure that the information you are reviewing is current. Mergers and acquisitions have become com- commonplace. Mergers and acquisitions have become commonplace, and it is essential to know if a company you are considering buying is undergoing or is planning to undergo such a transaction. Mergers and what is that? Okay. An umbrella for the term financial transactions where companies combined, one buys another or assets are transferred often to grow, increase market share, or enter new markets. A merger is a consolidation of two companies into one entity, while an acquisition is when one company purchases another, taking ownership of its shares or assets or operations. Okay, so a merger is like two companies becoming one. Acquisition is when one company buys from another. Okay. Find out find out about a company's market capitalization or the market value of all the company's outstanding shares. To calculate the market capitalization, multiply the current marketplace okay. To calculate the market capitalization, multiply the current market price of a stock by the number of outstanding shares. The number of the outstanding shares refers to the number of shares that have been sold to the public. That shit did not make sense to me, but I'm gonna rewatch it. It's gonna make sense. Back in the 1990s, it became clear that individual investors were becoming serious players in the world of Wall Street. With the advent of online investing and an aggressive play for smaller investors by the two leading stock markets in the United States, the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, buying stock exchanges, the nexus of trade. Back in the 1990s, it became clear that individual investors were becoming serious players in the world of Wall Street. With the advent of online investing and aggressive play for smaller investors by the two leading stock markets in the United States, the New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq, by buying and selling investments has gotten easier and less expensive. Exchanges, the markets that make up what is known as the markets that make up what is known in the general as the stock market are the New York Stock Exchange and the National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotations. Other cities like Boston, Chicago, Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and Los Angeles have exchanges, as do major international centers like London and Tokyo. Competition, both domestic and global, continues to make stock transactions more transparent and more accessible to all investors. By understanding how the different stock markets work and compete for your business, you'll be better equipped to succeed in the investing world. By understanding how the different stock markets and by understanding how the different stock markets work and compete for your business, you'll be better equipped for to succeed in the investing world. The NYSE, the NYSE, known to insiders as the Big Board, now formerly known as the NYSE Euronext, is home to the prominent industry players like Walmart, General Electric, and McDonald's. The Big Board is not for little league players, among other requirements for inclusion on the New York Stock Exchange. A company must have at least 1.1 million publicly traded shares out of stock outstanding. Wait, a company must have at least 1.1 million publicly traded shares of stock outstanding, with a market value of at least 100 million. It must show pre-tax income and at least 10 million over the three most recent fiscal years, and have had earnings of at least 2 million in the past in the wait it must show pre-tax income of at least 10 million over the three most recent fiscal years, and have had earnings of at least 2 million in the two most recent years. And seats on the exchange don't come cheap either. The lowest amount paid for a seat way back in 1871 was $2,750. The highest price paid for a single seat was 4 million, paid in December 2005. The New York Stock Exchange, with the distinction of being the oldest stock exchange in the United States, is housed in a 30,000 36,000 square foot facility in New York's financial district. In 2007, the New York Stock Exchange facility in oh, the New York Stock Exchange combined with the European Stock Exchange Euronext to form New York Stock Exchange Euronext, a global milestone for the trading community. This market broke a new record, trading more than 5 billion shares in a single day on August 15, 2007. Trading volume hit an unpredicted 5 million. Hold on, that ain't even 5,799,792,281 shares. Not content to not content to rest on its laurels. Laurels? I feel like every time I read, my time gets shorter. Like I'm reading for 20 minutes, but I feel like I'm not reading long enough, bro. Laurels, laurels. Where's that? Not not to rest on its laurels. Law laurels. A number of shrubs. No. Oh, bestow an award or praise. Okay, it's like what's it called? Uh, what's the call? Like whatever. The like damn, like the accolades. All right. New York Stock Exchange Euronext acquired the American Stock Exchange Amex in 2008 and fully integrated trading began in early 2009. Now called the New York Stock Exchange Market or MKT. New York Stock Exchange MKT, this combined exchange offers an expanded trading capabilities, including stock options, exchange traded funds, and other specialized securities. The NASDAQ. When it first launched in February 1971, the NASDAQ hosted only 250 companies. Its first, its first claim to fame, the NASDAQ opened as the first electronic stock market in the world. The exchange hit a milestone in 1996 when its trading volume finally exceeded 500 million shares per day. Now it has become a fully fledged stock market, listing about 3,200 corporations, and is now destined to grow. Out of all the U.S. stock markets, the NASDAQ, which is now officially known as the NASDAQ OMX Group, the host the most the most initial public offerings (IPOs). All right, here's the timer. um, I stopped at page 40. I forgot what page I was on. I think I read like three pages or four. Oh, five. Not bad. All right, so I stopped at page 40. Um, I like this book. I'm not gonna lie. Um, I fuck with everybody who been supporting me. Liking my stuff and texting me, telling me to keep going and shit. I appreciate it. You know, um, I appreciate the encouragement and the motivation. Um, Again, investing 101 to create better spending and saving habits, to gain financial responsibility, to gain financial freedom for the years to come. Thank you. Bye, chat.